trading fuels, though, because in the north we've got conscripts in that citadel of defensive structures. And in the southwest, the Grenadiers are battling hard to try and capture this field, so they're trading right now. Must be said, though, Talisman, wow, he really prioritized victory points. Look at that. It's already dropped by 75.
I think that's quite a good idea. The last thing you want is Axis having time on the field. VPs will allow them that time later on into the game. So good VP pressure can be a lot for Axis to deal with. It will definitely slow down any of those big tanks getting veterancy later on into the game.
MG
see them with Vonasten playing mobile defense. So it's
yeah, well, you say that, but as I say, mobile defense, I agree completely. And you got firsthand to see the Von Ivan mobile defense, which is mobile defense at its most evolved form and in its purest and arguably more malignant form. Now, a lot of players are starting to do variations where they experiment with tier 4. What a delay there Talisman had. That was a dodgy Molotov. But what we're now starting to see is a bit more variations with tier 4, a bit of tier 3 thrown in. So, yeah, you can see some variations. But, to be honest, it is a little bit samey after a while.
I find that interesting because I think when a lot of people are playing the same thing, you should find that counters are readily available. Your game becomes a lot less... you know, we know that throwing curveballs in is a huge thing in any RTS, really. You want to be able to surprise your opponent. I think Von did a really good job of that yesterday in his game. And
how did he surprise him, though? He just he did the thing people were expecting. Oh, I see what you're saying. It's the Field Marshal Haig response. Well, we've gone mobile defense the past 19 times. That is the last thing the Hun would expect this time. But indeed, by the way, Dan, we just saw Vonasten think about getting a 2-2-2. I think he swapped it out for the 2-5-1, unless I saw what he was building. But seems like he's in for flames in the early game.
Yep, and immediately flamer upgrade. So weapon of choice. I think it's interesting because guards are already on the field. Guards are actually in the building at the moment. We do have Molotovs. We need anti-tank grenades though. They're not out yet. So we'll see how that goes.
We will indeed. Here we go. We've got the 2-5-1. It's now 60% complete. And the fact that Talisman can see it means I'm going to be checking his headquarters building. He needs to wait till he gets the manpower to get the anti-tank grenades, though. Oh, bad retreat path, Dan.
I really liked that Vonasten was reinforcing the grenadiers there before the flame
goes
on.
He's going to continue!
It was a nice push.
Slow march into hell with that 2-5-1 storming after him. 2 jet propulsions of liquid flame.
No, that was good. He got the shock value out of that, and I think that's really important. And he needed that wipe as well, because he needed to break even from the Grenadier he lost at the start of the game. So he's going to be happy with that. He's going to be really happy with that.
It's a nice trade-off there. So we've got 1 conscript loss, 1 Grenadier loss. This is not a Resident Sleeper start to this game. But, you know, we don't know what's going to happen from this point on. We've got an MG42 coming out. And just look at Talisman, Dan. This is why all of his games went an hour. Well, a lot of his games went an hour yesterday, and he won a lot of games as conscripts versus mobile defense, etc. He is a staller. He is a stamina, endurance, and resilience-based player. He will allow you to punch him in the face repeatedly until you die of exhaustion. That is Talisman for you. He's just standing behind green cover, and he lets you come upon him. Oh god, that sounds terrible. Come unto him, rather, and break like water upon a rock, just as Bruce Lee used to say.
I think the Vonasten's play been very solid here. He's actually used the hedgerow line of sight to get flames into the building with the guards, whilst they couldn't fire back. So he's using the map very, very well. And where is he going here with it? This is a bit dangerous.
It is actually. You're right. But the guards cost a lot of money, well, manpower rather, and you know, it's nice to get a few PTRS shots off them, but it certainly costs a lot in terms of MP. So
my worry was that he hadn't done any mine sweeping there, and you know, potential mine spot maybe could have been an issue.
There have been players like this in the game's past. A lot of people remember from the SNF days of a player called Symbiosis, who I actually think Von Ivan's most similar to. He was quite passive in the early game, but then he'd storm out of the gate 20 minutes in with a huge rush. That's Von Ivan for you. Talisman, It's a lot more reminiscent of maybe Barton, when Barton was... I wouldn't even say that. I think it's a new style, Dan. It's like this ultra-conservative style. You couldn't even say Theodosios is like Talisman. There's nobody like Talisman, quite frankly.
I was actually comparing him a little bit to Talisman yesterday because I just thought, my God, he really wants that composition, before he actually moves out and does anything. But I mean, there's something to be said for that in a game like this. It does wear your opponent down. It's incredibly frustrating to build an army up and have it crushed immediately, and then build it up again and have it crushed immediately. It grates on people, and it's that good old psychological warfare we love to highlight.
Don't hate the player, hate the game. I'm not saying this is a bad game or is a game deserving of hate, but Talisman's playing the most efficient style he likes to play. It's a style that allows his opponent to exhaust themselves. It certainly makes for long games. It can make for very tense games, but they're definitely high skill and high level games. So I think it's still a joy to watch.
Conscript flank here on the MG. Fuel point on the right. It isn't protected, so I think Vonasten is going to have to get the machine gun out of there relatively quickly. There's the retreat. Talisman's trying to push the right-hand side whilst the T-70 was left. And that T-70, I think, is responding now on the right. Of course, it's going to want to just keep that half-track away. I think its job is really just to stunt the effect of that unit on the field for a while. Make it hard for Vonasten to move around and burn everything easily.
Pack 40's also out. Great answer, great timing. Well, also, the Wehrmacht always tries to build a Pack 40 at some point, and most players try and get it out around now. But I often think the T-70 is like the magic wand of the Soviet army. Nice 18-8, by the way. Magic wand of the Soviet army. It's the manpower dealer. It's the thing that really allows you to escalate your output. First 10 minutes of the game, you've got conscripts, which basically can't kill hardly anything. And then the T-70 comes out, and all of a sudden you can start to kill things.
There's a lot of mines being planted by Talisman. We've got one in front of the T-70, one to the right of the T-70. So I guess he's expecting that Puma perhaps to go left side. And the timing is good because Vonasten is just unlocked Puma in his commander choice right now. Could be bringing that on, and there it is, straight away. That's on the field. So these mines could be devastating to Vonasten.
It really could. And we saw a lot of that in the Von Ivan game yesterday. And in the Aimstrom games actually that we watched. A lot of trying to tempt the Puma onto a mine with the T-70. Oh god, this MG's getting low. I tell you, it's a good job that the conscript is suppressed. Here comes the Puma.
Yep, Puma's going to chase T-70. Question is, will he push for it? And this should be, I think this looks like bait.
It is bait!
If Vonasten really takes it. Oh, he's going to hit it! There it goes.
There you go. Will the T-70 now going for the strafe? Smoke has been popped. 251's coming in to mitigate the situation. Yes, he is. He's going to burst through that smoke. He's already got an assist shot in through that said smoke. Now he's going to attack around. And he gets the kill.
No, he doesn't. It's a band. Oh, he's going to blow it up. I thought he would try and recrew that.
Oh, do you know why? I think was he attack rounding maybe?
Possibly, but
He would have loved that.
I thought that's why you don't dive in with the tanks. It's a mechanic that tries to stop you from doing that. I'm not sure everyone agrees with it.
No, I agree. No,
but it's part of the game.
Do you want a secret, Dan? We were thinking of actually, in time for the GCS finals, the 8-man finals in September. Oh, let's just keep an eye on this 251. There it is. It's going to be okay. In September, we were thinking of maybe getting a pack mod together that maybe removes abandons and makes main gun crits go away, and seeing what the players think about it. Maybe they want to vote on it. But in all honesty, mobile defense is that powerful. It's actually one of the few things that's stopping mobile defense wrecking everybody every game. The fact that you've got all these medium vehicles and you're throwing them at your enemy deep behind enemy lines, the fact that one of them could get abandoned. It's actually a limiter right now for mobile defense.
Yeah, we always say this. The game of Company of Heroes is RNG management. You have to be prepared for the fact that you can lose units when you give them to your opponents when you push like that. So however players want to play with that, it's entirely up to them. But at the very least, Vonasten did not give a Puma to his opponent. Another one is now on the field, and he needs to get the minesweepers working on that side because there was another mine that didn't trip on that first push.
Yeah, it was quite lucky to get past that one. He went straight past it, almost drove over it actually, and look at this damage of the DP light machine guns.
Packer, I think, just tripped a mine on the left-hand side. There's a lot of them going off.
Yeah, that's what that was, yeah. I see that.
I think that will worry Vonasten. The mine game is really, really important here. That's where Talisman's going to be whittling down the manpower of his opponent, getting those really important engine criticals.
Shows that we're finally hitting kind of that Co-1 end state back in the day when Co-1 had been out for ages and people had played it to like its maximum level, you know what I mean, like after years of build-up. All the players now are using mines continuously and consistently and minesweeping continually and consistently, and it just shows we're like it's a real advanced state in this game's history. The RTS is like...
He's trying to hit the mine on the left VP with the AT.
Is he?
He just swept it a second ago. And,
oh, okay.
He's trying to attack it. I love the attention to detail though, because if he could just by some chance hit it with the AT gun, he saved himself, well, like a second or two of time, but time is a resource, and you know, if you can get away doing that kind of thing, it is top level play. Really, you have to maximize every opportunity like that.
There's a lot of resources that aren't part of the actual resource system of Company of Heroes, like the obvious one on the UI. Just watching this nice pack engagement there. So you've got the obvious ones. You've got manpower, munitions, fuel, pop cap, etc. Obviously experience. Also you've got time, and you've got your opponent's stamina, and they're the two big ones that I think are huge. Oh, victory points as well. God, there's a lot to think about in this game. but the two obvious, the ones that aren't on the UI are time and endurance, and I think that Talisman's a good master of both of those.
He is. I really love the focus on MGs. Two MGs here. They're trying to take the center building and the left building. And it's really good for Vonasten because there isn't that much indirect fire. In fact, there's nothing in indirect fire on the field from Talisman. No even SU-76 to provide barrage. There's no AT gun yet for the Zis. So these buildings, you know, really just relying on maybe Molotovs and getting close. But the MGs are doing really good work. Actually, both of them set up in this building. I think it's a really, really strong position with support of the Flame half-track. One of the other things as well, like we still got this left VP pretty much. No one's paying attention to this. Vonasten's spread out at the moment. But the VP game, look at the VPs. 174 left for Vonasten. And this is the strength of Talisman. He puts the pressure on at the start and makes his opponent work back from it.
And it's just great control. I think he's got excellent kind of peripheral micro. You've got players that have got great kind of central micro when there's a big engagement going on, like Von Ivan. And then you've got other players that are great at making loads of shift commands, constantly checking the tac map, making sure all their units are moving across the map in disparate areas. And I think Talisman's quite good at that. I mean, Dan, do you remember when he used to play with 13 conscripts in ESL? So I think he's very good at that, basically. I think that's one of his strong suits. 85mm variant T-34 is on the battlefield. God, that's going to be huge, actually. That's like a mammoth tank taking the field when there's this composition. A Puma and a 251 Veteran C3.
Oh, yeah, it is in a good position.
Coming in. Focus the Puma, interesting. Okay.
I don't mind that. I think that's a good idea, actually, because it's going to allow the T-3045 to get its efficiency against infantry rolling, start getting those kills in, build up that veterancy early. Puma's only going to hamper that, so I don't mind that decision. But it'd be interesting to see how Talisman deals with this. It looks like he's got units standing around. He's spreading out. He's got the vehicle superiority. So it's time to start working away at those buildings.
It is.
I think actually, given because he's got tier 4 up, do you reckon we'll see Katusha to maybe clear out the support weapons? Oh! How's the center down?
There you go. He wombo comboed that. Vonasten possibly should have been expecting it, I guess.
I think so. I mean, that probably had enough health that you probably think you can take a shot and still have it survive. It's a little hard to calculate, but when the building is low down health, you might want to get the MGs out of there. I think that was unfortunate, though. So,
for those that don't know how well Talisman did to get to this position yesterday, he beat a hell of a lot of good players yesterday. Helping Hands, Love Nest, CS, who's a former top name in the community. So, Talisman had a tough ride, and he literally had huge games. So today, Dan, he must be feeling like a war hero. You know, he's like a war machine, and he's playing out of his skin against Vonasten in this game.
He is. Oh, I also think, though, that Vonasten is displaying a very, very high level. There's a couple of engagements south that looked really, really good. Flame a half track down there.
3 now is dead, Dan, thanks to the 85mm and the PTRS of the guards.
Yeah, I was going to say, on the south side, Talisman actually pushed up to just north of the house. There was like a line of sight, tried to get it with the Flamer Pioneers, and Vonasten was already over with the Flamer half-track to counter-burn them. So the actual kind of like prediction play, knowing what the opponent is going to do and what parts of the map they're going to utilize to get the best out of their units and their equipped weapons, is really high level. We're only 20 minutes in to the first game of the series, and I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed already.
Yeah, me too. I think a lot of people took that away from Talisman yesterday. But also, I mean, you've got to speak about Vonasten, how he got to this point yesterday. It's not to be sniffed at. I mean, for God's sake, he beat Nagano, Nagano and J for Jet to get here. So, well played to Vonasten.
More mine placement down at the moment, so Talisman attention to detail was very good. Double pack guns could come around the corner of the building here and unleash hell on this T-3485. Didn't manage to get the foul stuff, unfortunately. No chance of a finish.
Got a good amount of HP though, the T-3485. It can take 2 pack shots and not laugh, but it's not exactly going to cry about it. 76 probably thinking, oh crap, one more shot and I'm finished. The 85 is just going to reverse back and get some lovely repairs. Also good thing for... Go on, sorry?
Katusha is in the build at the moment, and I think this is what we were maybe expecting was going to come out, because it's probably going to be the most efficient thing to deal with the support weapons, the MGs and the now double packs. Actually, the Katusha is going to be a really good option to clear this left side.
Definitely. I mean, 4 support weapons. Oh, and don't forget the 120mm, which is going to become a bit of a nuke cannon the longer it's on the field. So, Talisman's now entered Battle Phase 2, Indirect Fire Operations, and it's going to punish Vonasten.
Oh no, sorry, you're sorry, I was looking at Battle Phase for Vonasten.
Yes, no,
you confused me there. Well. Can we use Soviet-related?
Okay, I'll use a different terminology. Hang on, let me redo that, not to confuse Dan. Talisman is now entering War Stage 2, Indirect Fire Operations. Is that okay, Dan? Is that better for you? War Stage 2. Here we go. T-3485 did a nice 2-man shot off with the elite troops bringing up the rear.
Oh, he's walked straight into the pack wall again. Veterancy 1 means target weak point is available, but Vonasten doesn't hit it. That's a shame, but the Katusha's raining down on the building. MG does manage to get out in time, but will the packs have any issues from this? Yes, they will! That was a nearly decrewed pack. This is got to take it down, and blows it up! And blows up the pack gun. So now he has to reinvest the resources into this. He's also just brought an MG into the building onto the right-hand side. Just going to get a Molotov immediately, and can only escape through the front of the building. So actually Vonasten maybe going to lose a couple of units here.
Is it me, or is Vonasten making some miscalculations in this game? It really feels like he might have a bit of nerves, a few jitters. Talisman is on point, but that was a bit of a miscalculation by Vonasten there, and you know, he paid the price. 320 manpower down the Swanee.
It's hard to say. I actually think one of the good things that Talisman has going for him is, like you were saying earlier, he's good mastery over a lot of units, and it's a lot to deal with, especially when those units carry snares and garrison clearing tools. So actually, like, what he's got to deal with current, like, all over the map is really, really hard, and that's where Talisman really has a great advantage. There's a lot going on, and it's very, very difficult for people to do.
It as well done. I mean, Talisman's play there was next level. When you originally think somebody's play is like, well, why the hell is he going into that pack wall? That's why he's going into the pack wall. That's when you know that somebody knows exactly what the F they're doing. And that's Talisman for you.
I'm not feeling too confident. Vonasten just set 2 MGs on top of each other. Which the T-70 just loved because of the burst damage. But what have we got in the field here? Command Panzer IV. Probably a good choice to help deal with the infantry, but not sure if it's the best choice given the T-3485 on the field.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it'll be good. I mean, the T-35 can only be in one place at one time, and other than that, the Panzer IV command tank is relatively uncounted at the moment.
He's going to catch the AT gun off guard. If this goes down, this is a serious problem. Puma's got to come in and help.
I hit the wall instead. Maybe they're drunk.
Again, he does have target weak point. And
Katusha's ready though, and firing again, perfectly timed. Oh my god, this could be huge. And it was. Could have been better. Second barrage? No, not okay.
The range is a bit too far. I mean, where's that firing from? It's firing. Okay, just
quite far. Base to base. Usually on Faymanville approach isn't too much of a problem, but you know, it's still a max range Katusha. Could have really destroyed his entire army if he'd gotten close to the mid-house, maybe. It would have been dangerous, though.
I'm not too confident about this positioning from Vonasten. I think the formation is a bit...
What's he doing? Is he having nerves done?
I don't know. He seems to have cracked a little bit. He was very, very solid in the first 20 minutes. The last 5 have been less so. But, I mean, he's not really lost anything. I think that's the important thing. He's lost a pack. That's about it. But he's 100 VPs, you just heard it then, 26 minutes in. If he doesn't take a VP, he'll maybe lose with 350 odd, and I don't think that's good for the series.
Well, yeah, I kind of agree. But, you know, it's just a game. And as long as he's not playing to get some kind of deciding ace game faction choice selection, which, you know, at the end of the day, Dan, it's all about your winning VPs as well. And Talisman has dropped to 347, so theoretically, Vonasten could win with 348 in the next game, and he's got faction selection in the ace game decider. So don't count him out yet. And also, he might just think to himself, "Wow, I've had a really crap game 1. My opponent played well, and I just did not." As a commentator and caster of many years, I have no shame in saying that, or no hesitation in saying that I don't think Vonasten's played particularly well this game. Which is a shame. It's a shame, Dan. But what happens after a game 1 with the dodge performance? You can have a game 2 blinding performance. You can pick yourself up, rush yourself off, and smash it. Katusha firing.
Yeah, firing where?
Into the path.
Oh, okay. So he's firing on the move out from the base.
Yeah.
Preemptive shot there to stop any units reinforcing the command. Panzer IV, I believe. Vonasten making a push on the right-hand side. He's got to get VPs under control. He cannot be triple capped right now as the VPs approach 50. T-3485 from Talisman is going to start pushing the front. It will be a distraction. And the more pressure that Talisman can put on the front line at Faymanville right now, the less chance Vonasten has of making any comeback on the VPs.
Yeah. It's not looking good, though. I mean, the T-3485 just went forwards as a precaution just to keep him off VPs. Talisman knows he has this now. And just look at that predictive Katusha just now. I mean, it missed, but you could see what he was thinking. He was trying to time the exit from the base. He's playing on a top level at the moment. And his wins yesterday are obviously not by luck, because, you know, they were a 1-hour test every time. And now he's well-practiced and well-oiled in the Finnish war machine, it seems. Oh, making strike T-70.
Oh, just managed to get away. We just saw Grenadiers go down. There's also an MG that just went down from the T-70. 30 VPs. I'm going to really call it right now. I don't see a way out for Vonasten.
No.
Good 20 minutes, but last 10.
I'll tell you what, though. I mean, Von Ivan and Devem watching Vonasten in particular right now must be feeling, hang on. I know our bracket's stacked, but this Talisman guy's looking monstrous recently. And Dan, another thing about Talisman, I love to say this, but he's the only player that approached me with questions about the event setup. You know, 8 months in advance. That's how confident he was coming in. Nice mine goes off T-70. There's been found out Katusha's recoiling in terror. A 1-man Grenadier's capping, but look up in the north, Dan. The conscript's finishing the game off. And T-3485 got the kill regardless.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. He was trying to take VPs on the mid, but right side unit got killed earlier. 347 to 18 VPs. Great game 1. Alright. Just going to run the stinger.
Really?
Yep.
That's a bit risky, isn't it?
It is risky, but we're gonna try.
Don't do it then. It's fine. I'd rather
I
have
need to test it.
certainty than risk. I don't care about testing. I don't care.
Here we go.
It's a beautiful
Fingers
stinger,
crossed.
everybody. Just pretend everybody in chat that's a stinger. I'll do the sound effects.
We're safe. We're safe.
Yeah. Bloody hell.
A's not a fan of the live tests.
I'm not a fan of your hardware at all. AMD.
I have a
far
10-year-old
too
PC
yourself.
that is capably streaming this game.
Congratulations. She belongs in a museum. I mean, let's all just applaud Talisman. Although Vonasten had a shaky performance, you could not take a second away from Talisman. He's an absolute monster at the moment.
He was really good. I think he reminds me of how Loveness was playing towards the end of GCS last year. I mean, you just used to see incredible mines everywhere. Do you know what I mean? Like such attention to detail, line of sight, weapon abilities. There was that kind of play. But I think also, let's not fault his build was near perfect. He had Garrison clearing very early on. You know, the engineers with the flamethrower at the start, they really allowed for that the engineers to be another capping unit and not just to kind of push away. It was, you know, it was really good play, and all the way up to bringing that Katusha out. That was a game-changing unit for sure.
Do you realise that obviously we're not an esport, but there's starting to be like an esports feel to our competitive scene. There are people that come into our competitive scene, don't play auto match, don't stream. They come in, they analyze the scene, they do quality over quantity training, and they get good, and they get good in an efficient way. That is like top level elite stuff. That's what Talisman's done. You know, he loves this game. He says it's one of his favorite games of all time, but he has come in this year. He's